welcome back to my channel. As we know, in South Africa, the PSL season is coming back, so we are super excited. On the 8th of August, all system goes. We start the Nedbank Cup, and then on the 11th of August, the PSL is kick-starting in full swing. And so today, it's all about the fans. I'm so excited to be sitting with our Pule, with Mr. Spiwa Divandleller, Mr. Musa Sfiso, as well as Uneo. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bali.
Okay, guys, firstly, Pule, the league is coming back. It's been 4 or 5 months. What a drought for South Africans who love their sports and who love their football.
We're kicking off with the Nedbank Cup. Hopefully my team there does wonders. Hopefully I'm crossing fingers. It's something which I've been waiting for. It's been a couple of months without any football. And, 3 days time, here we are. And we can't wait to see all the teams in action.
And so your team is not in the Nedbank Cup, but it's a team that has been a bit controversial these past few days. And it's sitting at the top of the log as well. You and Spiwe, your team has been doing quite well this season. But I'll pose this question to you, Spiwe. So just your thoughts on Kaizer Chiefs. Can they maintain this league? Can they maintain the lead? It's the point gap is not that big. Yes, they have quite a number of games in hand, but it's gonna be a tough finish.
Yeah, no. I think it's gonna be tough for Chiefs, and I think for everyone else. Bali, we are lucky in the sense that we worked hard in the beginning of the season, and we collected those much-needed points in the beginning. And even when things started sort of like falling apart, we still maintained the top spot because we worked hard in the beginning. So for me, I think as much as COVID might be something that might have been undesirable, but I think for Chiefs, it came at a good time where we were sort of falling short, and then we needed time to sort of breathe and just regather our strength again. And I think we're ready to just finish strong at this point. We're leading in all fronts, from goal difference, points, we consider less goals. So in all fronts, we're superior at this point, and I think that should give us confidence to say we're almost there, we just need to finish.
So Samir Nurkovic has been one of your standout players this season. I think he was an amazing signing for Kaizer Chiefs, and I think he's really helped the team, to stay on top. And I think last season wasn't so good for Ernst Middendorp, but he seemed to have gelled quite well with the team this time around and found this rhythm and this groove and knowing which players to place with who and just finding a nice working system.
Yeah, I guess things have really worked out for the coach this season. I must be honest, I was hoping that he doesn't come back. I was very upset with the fact that we missed out on top 8 and we missed out on Nedbank. But I was surprised, even with Kokota, when he was signed, I was one of those critical supporters that were saying, guys, this guy, where is he coming from? When he's on the YouTubes and all of the clubs that he was playing for, he was scoring goals. They looked like Sunday leagues, So I was really one of those guys who was saying, but he's been really an amazing star for us. He scored goals when we most needed, and I really think that he is going to continue from where he left off.
Were there no rumors good to Yahamba or something like that, or
no, it's just the enemies trying to sow confusion and division in the club. He's not going anywhere. He's gonna be with us for probably another season or two. I mean, why would you let him go? I mean, if I was Chiefs, I would have no reason to let him go, especially considering that we don't have a replacement that is scoring or a similar player that can really play his role. So for me, is more than knowing that he's not going anywhere. I hope he doesn't go anywhere.
Musa, Orlando Pirates is right there in the running of the PSL title this season. I mean, we know where they also come from as well. I mean, when you look at them, about 3 seasons ago when they finished in 11th, it was a terrible season for Orlando Pirates. They also finished out of the top 8. But then you sign a new coach, then all of a sudden things come back, and then the team starts looking great, and then you add Rulani Mukwena in the mix there, and then things are starting to look great, and then your team, your coach decides, I am going to Africa up north. I'm leaving you guys here. And then you've got Rulani Mukwena who's saying people thug behavior, thuggish behavior. And then you bring on Zimbabwe after that and seems to be turning the team around, sitting in top 5 position right now, still fighting for the league. Why are you shaking your head?
Listen here, Mbali. I understand that 3 seasons ago we finished 3rd. But if you look at it from this point
which season was it when you finished in the 12? Was it 4 seasons ago?
I don't even remember.
You guys remember that season? I
remember that very well.
You remember? It was, I think, 4 seasons. Was it 4 seasons?
Yeah.
I think it's 3 or 4, but they were like 6 points above relegation.
Before you signed Mito.
But listen here. Pirates has been second on the log, has been one of the best finishes, you know, being number 2 for most of the league seasons. And my team has been playing second fiddle for most of the seasons. So I just think that in the past couple of decades, they've just had one terrible season where they got thrashed by 2 Pretoria teams, and we got thrashed also in the final. But to start talking about the league at this point right now, I'm not even going to go there. It's a dream. It's a dream nonetheless, you know. But we've been trying. Hopefully, we can retain the squad, and Zimbabwe can continue to add more value to the team. And the Rulani situation, he was just a little speed hump. You know, there's nothing that guy did for the team. There's nothing that guy did for the team. And yeah, basically, even when Mitchell left, I think it was a matter of Rulani interfering a lot. With my comments, you can already see that I'm not a fan of Rulani, but all the best to him at Sundowns, because he's done well there in the past. But yeah, hopefully looking forward to see Gabadino Mango get the golden boots. Hopefully we can thrash Sundowns after, you know, Jali gets kicked by Manari on Sunday during the weekend at the Nedbank Cup. So yeah, that's my sentiments about Pirates. It's just about trying to be consistent and preparing for next season. This season, I don't want to dream.
Yeah, no, Gabadinho has really been outstanding as well for you guys, and being a front man, I think he's really also pulled the team, you know, at the front, and he's what Lodge used to be about a season ago, who is one person who now we don't quite know about his form and what's happening with him. I don't know.
Well, Mali, we've my opinions about Loch are ones that are about inconsistency, and me and the guys have basically had one Zoom session where we actually, you know, dissected Loch, and from my view, he's one player that's got potential, but he has been inconsistent. So Loch, man, he might just, you know, be on a blue patch, but next season he might shine. But there's another thing where he wants to go overseas. So I think they just need to let him go. We can groom another player. You know, Pirates is a big team.
But I want to go down to Neo. Hi, Neo. Hey, I see you in Jamaica there.
You know, you have the vibes.
Your team, right? Because we play the Chiefs in Shemla. Your team has
But
also
but
been,
Chiefs, everywhere you go to the stadium, you go to any event, Chiefs will dominate. So don't be alarmed. It's normal.
Now, I think one thing I'm upset about Chiefs for is letting go of Joseph Malongwane. I understand he had, a long-term injury, but looking at the kind of player this guy is, and what he's also done for Chiefs, I think that he's always given his 100%. And, I was just very surprised to see them letting him go. They have their own reasons, yes, but now he's going to TTM, a team that we know is overflowing with players right now, and it's spoiled for choice at this point. Was it a right move from Chiefs to let Joseph go?
I think if you have to look at it on a long stretch, obviously because we could think of the technicalities and the fact that was it worth handing in a contract that would maybe suffice for 1 or 2 months if the long-term plans weren't for him to be in their books. But on the interim, you're now looking at this month that they're going to go into. They have basically shaved off their squad, which you can't shave off your squad at a time where you're going to be playing 2 to 3 games a week. So for me personally, and I've seen a lot of KZ Chiefs fans allude to this, like it was a terrible move from the Chiefs management. And I think the person who would actually be hurt the most is Ernst Middendorp, because even last season, around close to the back end of the season, the management took a decision again to take out a player that Chiefs that Ernest Middendorp was utilizing, which was Extian. So now the same thing has happened again. So I really feel for him, because now I'm worried about the caliber of our players when it comes to playing each game week in and week out, on where they will be able to suffice. The George Moleka thing already on its own hits the core of the team. Now to also use Joseph to TTM. TTM, that's a conversation for another day. They've gained a player, but I think Chiefs, they really need to start introspecting themselves as they need to start taking care of what it is the essence of being a team, and seeing out, supporting, backing the manager. Because unless it was Ernst Middendorp, maybe he's the one who's like, okay, he can let him go. Killed off special tactic. They've killed off his tactics in essence.
Maritzburg United sitting on 5th, right? They have 39 points. They've won 10. They've lost 5, and they've drawn 9. The last time I think we saw Maritzburg United coming out this strong and trying to, fight for the top 3 was when Fatu Davids, was still the coach when they finished in top 3. A stellar season that they've had thus far. What are your thoughts?
United are a side that, when you watch them, especially on that Friday night, they excite you, because you can see that this team has got a clear direction, and the management supports their coach Eric Tinkler the most. So they're the one side that, like, I remember us as Kosi faithfuls weren't looking forward to playing them the second half of the
Julius!
because they knew how to take care of Chiefs. And one thing about them is, especially about Eric Tinkler, that like he's a marvel, which I would, personally, I would nominate him to be like coach of the season, because one of the things that he does during a game is he switches tactics during the game, and you can see first half they're playing a certain style of way, second half they're playing another kind of way, and you can see it's a way in which it leads them to be more dangerous. And then you can see Moki Pimela, who after signing with Maritzburg permanently, he then started to have this resurgence in his in his play. And I think maybe the pressure of not playing for such a big team anymore really worked out in Maritzburg's way, because now it brought the best out of him. So Maritzburg United for me were the team to watch. You know what Cape Town City was last season? Maritzburg United were definitely the team this season to watch time and time again. Yeah.
But I just want to throw in something there.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw how Maritzburg really, I mean, they have this never give up attitude up until the last minute of the game. And I remember the one game they played against Polokwane City, which they won 1-0. Right at the dead, I mean, Polokwane City would have really felt like a draw was going to be a win for them, or it's going to be enough for them. And then Maritzburg just came at the last minute and they scored. So they have that never die attitude. And the nice thing is, they're still going to play Sundowns. They're still going to play Pirates. So for me, as a Kaizer Chiefs fan, sad that we lost against them, but I'm glad that they're still going to play some of the so-called big guns which we're competing against in the top league.
See, in Maritzburg, it's just one of those teams that you would hope and you wish that they can stay as they are at least for the next 3 seasons.
Yeah.
No player is signed, no player is sold, the coaches don't move and everything. I really want to see how far they can go, because I can tell you now, I mean, some of their players are going to be bought by we know who, so, which is unfortunate, So they are the top team at the moment, but then maybe next season they're going to be struggling. But you remember again, 2 seasons ago, they were very good. Then they sold their players, then they went down a little bit. They had to fight for relegation. They are back now. So hence I'm saying it's just one of those teams that you would wish there would be stability, in terms of players and the technical team. At least for 3 seasons, they will achieve a lot.
But Usianda Kulu now has been bought by Hapoel Tel Aviv. So, I mean, the team is being stripped now piece by piece.
But Usianda was not the core of the team, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he really was the core of the team. He was not getting
This season.
Yes, this season he was not really the core. Sianda is one of those lucky players, who would just get a deal anywhere in the world. And sometimes you wonder, what did they do? I'm not saying he's a bad player, but if you were to look at his performance this season, he's not. You can't say he's in the top 20 of the PSL team. Musa, no. Can you say that?
Yeah, Musa.
But to say that Usianda's been getting lucky deals is a bit not nice for the player, because Usianda was one of the rising stars in defense, and I just think that he wasn't able to crack it at the so-called big teams, he didn't get that much of a better chance. He struggled against Umatoho at Kaizer Chiefs, and he also struggled against, I think Scoot at Sundowns. So it was really, really a tough situation for Sianda. So let's spare thoughts for Sianda. But he's been striving. At least now he's got a deal for overseas.
I see Tulani Ngoba's in the house. He's still connecting, but
hey, Tulani, welcome.
Makayantini.
Dubandlela, ngifuna ukubuza wena ukuthi are you more excited that the league is resuming, or are you more sad that you can't be at the stadium?
I think I'm more excited that the league is starting. When the lockdown started, people started calling us coronavirus champions. I don't know why they're getting the ideas that we were going to be handed over the league, So from that perspective, I'm happy that I've got an opportunity to beat Sundowns again. I've got an opportunity to take 6 points from Vets. Call them Beat Vest or TTM Vets, it doesn't matter. points. I've got an opportunity to collect from Platinum Stars and Chippa United. And yeah, so for me, yes, of course, there is that element of wanting to be at the stadium. I mean, we would have loved to be in Loftus, on the 5th of September to lift the league and celebrate with the team, when we play our last game. But it is what it is, we just have to support our teams from where we are. But I'm excited.
Hello.
You see your beautiful face.
Finally. Thank you.
Yo, welcome. Yeah, put him out big and I want to throw Nedbank Cup at you because we've got, when you look at the fixtures right now, Baroka up against Celtics, Mamelodi Sundowns against TTM Wits, as Umunyukut is calling it here in the chat. We look at Celtics right now on the log, right? Celtics is 9th on the log, and Baroka is sitting 13th. So it's almost an evenly matched team, right? Like match when you look at both teams.
Yeah.
But when you look at also the quarterfinals leading up to the semifinals, I mean, I think the only team that had a convincing win was Ifetes with that 4-0 win over Real Kings. I think all the other games are like 1-0. Celtics in a penalty. It was a hard-fought victory in a penalty 3-2. But I think Wits had the most convincing win for me. Who is your pick for the Baroka Celtics game and why?
Thank you, Mbali, and thank you guys for welcoming me. I think this one, Bloemfontein Celtics is going to take it because one, as Bloem Celtics, despite their problems, they focus, in their games. And I've checked Baroka FC, as you said, they are bottom of the log, and a slight mistake, they are going to go to relegation. And unfortunately, their last match is against Kaizer Chiefs, and Kaizer Chiefs want to win the league, and it's going to be tough for them. So I would also advise them, to make sure which they concentrate on the league, because the cup they can play again next season. So Baroka FC, I don't see them, winning that one. They'll be concentrating on the league.
And Mamelodi Sundowns and TTM Wits for you, Pule?
That's a very easy one. But
Wow. Really?
And I'm just worried about the mindset of the guys with regards to this particular game. How far and where they are mentally. But other than that, I'm confident that Sundowns should go through to the final.
I'm going with Baroka and Wits. I'll tell you a quick one about Baroka. They're at the bottom of the log. This is their only chance to really salvage something out of this season, because they might get relegated. With Wits, as we know, the club is being sold, and there will never be another Wits as we know it. So this is the opportunity for the players to showcase themselves. For some of those that still wants to get signed by other teams and whatever, this is an opportunity for them to showcase and throw in everything that they have. So for me, I'll go with Wits in the Sundowns game and Baroka in the Baroka Celtic game.
But Sfiso,
Yeah.
Mena would say Sfiso, as a Wits player who is not too sure what's going to happen in the next 2 months, why must I break my leg? Why must I risk getting an injury that is going to put me off from a potential new deal from another club? I would just go and be present, and tick the box and just play and not give myself into this. What is it that am I playing for? So to that extent, my thinking is that Wits players are not going to get anything. Even those 6 points, we were going to get them anyway. Even if were not sold. But now those 6 points are just for us to go and connect.
But Sfiso, Spiwe, when I spoke to a couple of people from Wits, and I asked about how is the team morale in the camp, because one may think that okay, they are discouraged, but they said actually it's quite the opposite, because the one thing they want to do is actually finish strong and finish on a high. Also your performance also helps other teams even overseas to see you and buy you. So I don't think you should just throw in the towel and just play anyhow, because anyway we won't exist. But you need to think of the future, which okay, you know what, my potential employers might see me and sign me, so let me give 100%. Though I understand, which even if they throw in the towel, why? Because they've been put in a very impossible situation. I think the one thing I asked about is, Buti, what happens to its development? Do you absorb its development as well, or do you start a completely new TTM MTC? What happens? So those are things that are still hanging in mid-air right now, but I don't think that they should just not play.
If this transaction was happening at Bloemfontein Celtics, I would say Bloemfontein Celtics will go and win Nedbank still. Why? Because they've proven time and time again that they can leave the politics at the boardroom and go and play. Even at the time when they were not paid, they would still go and play and perform. I don't have history with vets facing this situation, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just saying there is that risk, of them just going there. If you are a player that is known, for instance, Kanti, for instance, why must he prove himself? Let's say, for instance, he was not signed by Pirates. Why must he prove himself in the last 2-3 games? He's known, So, but it's just my view.
Yeah. I think he's known here, but if you also want to attract the international market, you want to give your best, because you never know, with the 7-6 remaining matches, you might have the best matches of your life. You just don't know. But I think it's also being a professional player, because you are still employed, Melu Sebenze, and you still need to give your 100%. It's being professional and respecting the sport. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you, but I think you're touching a topic on its own. We spoke a little bit about this last week. The question is that why our players are struggling to get deals overseas. Why Lodge is still here.
Yeah.
Why Lodge is still here. If he was a shining star 2 seasons ago, So it's not only that the player is doing very well. It's the support system behind him, and I think we can't be that simplistic, and say, when I spoke about Sianda being lucky, it's because his manager, for instance, is connected. He's able to go back and say, hey guys, you remember this player, you remember how he played 2-3 seasons ago, he's still the same player. Do you understand? But you don't have, Kanti, for instance, Tlajoya, for instance, I'm telling you, those players, they should be playing overseas. But why are they still?
You see, now you're raising another topic, because now I want to pose this question. All right, let me give it maybe to Tuliano, because he hasn't said much. You said that Sianda's agent maybe is connected. Is it maybe, Guti, maybe we don't have good agents that are selling our players well overseas? Maybe that's why a lot of them are not moving.
Okay, I think in South Africa, the chairman also, plays a big role in terms of releasing, the player, and I've always suspected Wuti, as Uspiwe just mentioned, Ulosh now, Wuti, that the reason why he didn't go overseas, because he wasn't allowed by his chairman, and that made him to drop, his game, in this season. If you can check, last season he was on fire, and then he only performed very well in Egypt, and everyone thought Lodge is back, But then, when it comes to the PSL, he couldn't perform, to our expectation. So it's also, it's because of the chairmans, and also because of your agent. If your agent is not as strong as it's supposed to be, it's not easy for you to go overseas. Understand? And others, you find which they go overseas, but then they are not hungry for to play that side. They only go there for money, and then you'll hear them after a year that they are homesick. So it's with us in South Africa, it's a shame, really.
I think with the few minutes we have left, I really want to quickly talk transfers, because at least now it gives us a clear picture of going into next season as well, the teams, how the teams will be looking. Lesedi Kapinga, I think, is one of, he's been making headwaves, and Sundowns has been saying that Bayamfuna, they finally got him. Is that a good signing for your team, Pule? Are you excited for Lesedi Kapinga coming from Black Leopards?
Sure. I think with regards to Kapinga coming to Sundowns, I'm not going to start counting my chickens very quickly. He still needs a bit of time to set. We should not put much pressure on him. I'm just going to take my time to just also get to assess and see what he brings to Sundowns. If he settles and understands what Pito wants from him, then he should be fine. Hopefully he does get to settle as quickly as possible. And with this break, he should be able to just showcase what he's capable of doing. But it's not going to be easy, because there's so much quality at Sundowns, and if he's able to overcome that, then he should be fine.
Okay, Musa, I want to speak to you because this person is one of your former players, Opa Manyesa. We know that he's now left Sundowns. He's gone to TTM. We know his caliber, as a player, Orlando Pirates. We never saw that coming to Sundowns. Yes, he had that injury, and that he just never got back to form. Now he's going to TTM, a Glad Africa Championship team that now is in the PSL next season. Was that a good move for him?
Yo, Mbali, the Opa Manyisa situation. The Opa Manyisa situation, it saddens me.
Yeah.
And let me just be brief. Opa is an ex-Highlands North student. I went to school with him, and I saw him rise up at Orlando Pirates from playing right back, and he was the gem that he was, and he was our captain. And the manner in which he left, it was terrible, and he went to Sundowns. And as a bitter supporter, I was like, yeah, whatever. And it suits him to be left out like that and be kicked away to TTM. But knowing him as a person, I feel bad, because I think he was starting to get his way into Sundowns, and it was just a matter of him not being able to basically perform at his peak, because I think age is another factor with his aspects. You get injured, and as you know, with age, when you get injured, with our players, it takes forever for them to heal. And at Sundowns, it was a really, really tough situation, as Pule has mentioned about Kapinga. If it's going to be really, really tough because of the quality that is there at Sundowns. And TTM, I think it's actually a good move for him, basically a team with less pressure, and probably he can be like the star of the team with Malungwane as well. They're ex-high school mates, so they can gel a bit. Hopefully they can be the terrible twins in the middle field and probably cause some shockers for Sundowns and Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. But I just wish him the best, Hopefully he can perform and be the player that he was. He was the Tsetse Flyers captain, He's achieved a lot. And he deserves to shine, basically.
I want a one-word answer. Tulani, good move, Rulani coming back to Sundowns, yes or no? Yes or no?
That one is funny.
Yes or no?
Yes.
And George Maleke joining Sundowns, yes or no?
No.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of midfielders there. It's gonna be a tough one for him. There's Mabunda, there's Kapinga, there's him, there's a lot of them. So
there's a lot of
he have to, work hard.
Fine. We'll pick up this conversation another time. But guys, thank you so much for coming onto my channel, just speaking to me about the PSL, and just, as fans and everything you guys have been up to. And guys, it was really, really nice seeing you again. I really, really appreciate this conversation. And hopefully we'll have another one soon after Nedbank Cup. Whoever wins, I have another one.
Thank you, Mbali.
No, thank you.